smart now. Are you going to foul?
Terry puts it up. Won't go. Rebound Wade. The Miami Heat, they've done it. They win their first championship in franchise history.
The Miami Heat are once again NBA champions. LeBron James captures that elusive title he so desperately coveted.
The Spurs will not foul. Final seconds. What a finish. It's back-to-back titles for the Heat. The 2013 NBA championship resides once again in Miami.
Welcome to the #1 Miami Heat postgame show. Welcome to the 5 Reasons postgame show. On my right, we got Ariel. On my left, we got Alejandro. Right from the game, we got Gad. We got Simba. Phenomenal win tonight, guys. How you guys doing?
Let's go. Doing great.
Yeah, and a hype intro by our producer, Manny, taking care of us with a great intro. Always appreciate that, Manny. Great win from the Heat tonight. It was a grinded-out game. You know, we ended up going back and forth with having a lead and having that lead trimmed down. But at the end of the day, we finished out strong, and we ended up getting the win. And it was a great game for Jimmy Butler, great game for Bam Adebayo. It was good to see Goran back. Ariel, we'll start with you. What was your takeaways from this game?
I thought that was a really, really well-played game overall. I thought the Heat offense looked really good, and their defense was really good too for the most part, right? Like, I thought Spo had an absolute masterclass of a coaching performance, just switching up looks for the Raptors. You know, they would go from the 2-2-1 zone to the 2-3 zone. I saw a couple of possessions of 2-1-2. I saw, you know, man coverage. Like, they gave the Raptors a ton of different looks. And if it hadn't been for Fred VanVleet and a couple of those guys just hitting absolute ridiculous shots and a couple of bombs, that game probably would have been a lot less close than it was. But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, you know, our guy, Jimmy B. What a fourth quarter. Like, he just turns it on, you know, when he feels like it's needed. And if you think that him not making an all-star team didn't bother him and sat right with him, then you were very, you know, sadly mistaken, because you could see tonight he cares, right? He was pissed off, and he came out and took control of that game in the fourth quarter. And what else can you say? It was a great win.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy showed out. Like you said, he took that all-star snub personally. I think he had 10 points in the fourth quarter, hitting a bunch of threes, closing that game out. It was really a close game. They were bringing it back up to 4. We were starting to feel a little bit uneasy, and then Jimmy just came back, and he just settled everything down. Gad, we'll get to you, bro. What were your thoughts on this game?
I'm happy as hell right now. Listen, we beat the freaking Raptors, who had been balling. Like, if you watch this team, they were beating the Bucks, the Sixers, like everybody they were playing, they were beating. And dude, we played fantastic team basketball. The ball was moving for the most part. Did really good with the turnovers, only 10. I mean, there was a few moments here and there where it was kind of stupid passes, but like, we played good basketball, aggressive, like switching up the coverages, like you said, Ariel, on defense. I was just so happy watching this game. And even when they were making their runs, like, maybe not myself personally, I was stressed as hell, but the actual team looked pretty calm on the court. And I think that was a large part due to the fact that Goran was back. He went 4 of 13 from the field, but he just felt like it had a bigger impact on this game. And his stats didn't say much, but Goran off the bench is such a calming presence. I'm happy. I'm super happy with this win. We were able to beat a team even when they were shooting virtually lights out. They were at or above 50% for most of the game and then kind of folded at the end. I felt good about this game. And like Ethan tweeted at some point throughout the game, this is the team that we should pride ourselves on being the team that nobody wants to play in the playoffs, assuming we get to that point. I'm happy.
Yeah, man. Great game. Like you were saying, as far as the passing, I was looking at 31 assists on 37 made field goals. That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal ball movement. I think the only shots that we weren't assisted on were probably those Jimmy threes where he just pulled up and he just kind of said, all right, I'll just do it myself. Yeah, I mean, we'll get to that a little bit after, Jay, about talking about Nunn. I personally felt like he had a good impact on this game. And like you were saying, Gad, as well, they hit 23s tonight. That's usually an indicator that you're going to lose that game if an opposing team is hitting 23s. But we're able to grind it out. You know, Dunk started off really hot. Simba, we'll get to you, man. What would you think about this game?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit what everybody's saying, right? Like Spoelstra had like a great game plan. It came out great. Everybody worked well together, and then I think it was a good game all around. I think everybody had a good game. Even Nunn, who didn't like shoot like great. What did he end up with? 7 points tonight. Like that's not what he's usually been doing, but he still had a positive night, right? Like he was playing defensively well. He was doing all the little things. He was fighting for the ball, boxing out. So it's not too bad. Everybody did great, and I think that this is a game we needed. It was good to see Goran back, man. It's so good to see him back.
Dude, having him come off the bench and just a guy that you will just settle everything down, it just makes everything so much easier. You're just not worried when Jimmy and Bam aren't to get out there, and they're not getting ran to the floor. Alejandro, you were live from American Airlines Arena, dude. How was the energy there, especially in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, first of all, there was more people than usual. That they've been letting in more and more people. So it was. I mean, you could feel it. It felt like a playoff-like atmosphere, and even because both of the teams were playing actually very good basketball. So you were looking at the best version of these two teams that have been struggling for the first couple of months of the season. So it was great to see that. And you know what? A couple of things that some of the guys didn't mention. Andre Iguodala hitting 4 threes tonight. That's something that we probably didn't expect. Gabe Vincent coming up with another 3 of those shots that we were not expecting. Jimmy Butler hitting 2 threes in the fourth quarter when we know Jimmy Butler struggles a lot with that. And you know what? I was here live and I was looking at the stats. And at some point, I think in the third quarter, Butler had something around 10 or 12 points or something, 13 points. Yep. And I was looking at it, and our leading scorer were Duncan Robertson and Goran Dragic at that point. And then Bam Adebayo kind of came up a little bit, and at the end, it was just Jimmy Butler taking over. And you were talking about the Toronto Raptors runs, and they were at some point with 5 or 6 minutes left, they came up, and they were close by 2 points. And at that point was when Jimmy Butler took over. He hit a couple of shots right away, and that was the key moment there. And you know what? A couple of defensive possessions as well when the Raptors were trying to come back, and they missed a couple of open shots, and we took control of the ball there, and that was, I mean, it's a lot of details there, but it's some things that you guys didn't mention, and they were key to this victory against the Raptors. And you know what? This team have won, 8 of the last 11 games, right? And it should have been 10 of the last 11 games. So 100%. It's of course it's the best moment of the season. We didn't miss Tyler Hero tonight. Having Dragic back and having all the guys playing together, and even these guys that I just talked about, it felt like the team's kind of clicking, you know. And that's why we were asking for a little bit of patience. I know it's hard as a fan to okay, let's wait for the right moment to actually expect more from this team.
No, God, please, no.
now you're looking at the kind of the version that we saw for the Miami Heat in the playoffs last year or a couple of months ago. So you know what? Stay patient, and this team's gonna end up in the top 4 in the Eastern Conference. I'm sure of that.
Well, you heard it from Alejandro in the first. We're going to end up in the top 4. Honestly, looking at the standings, I think we can. You know what I mean? I do not see any reason why not. We have 3 games against the Pacers. If you guys talked about, is there a ghost behind you, Simba? Is there somebody creeping up?
I don't know, man. I think Royal's here. Maybe Royal's here, and that's why everything's going like this.
Hey guys, I gotta go home, but I'm gonna continue listening on my way home. All right.
Appreciate you, Alejandro. Thanks for the support from the game.
Manny's on point, dude.
Manny's on fire, dude. Manny got his degree, and he just leveled up like 10 levels.
Manny's great. Manny's the best director. I have to admit it.
He's great, man. Like Alejandro was saying, appreciate it, man. You have a good night. Drive home safe.
Bye.
There's a lot of good points in this game. Not only did Jimmy Butler play phenomenal, Bam looked like he was mad at getting snubbed as well. Iguodala played well. Duncan came out pretty well. Nunn played well as well. So we're going to get into all of these things just to, break it down moving forward. But let's get into Jimmy Butler for Mr. Coffee is Closers. Coffee is for closers. What was your thoughts on Jimmy Butler's game tonight? What do you like for what you see from him?
I mean, this is just, I don't know how much we want to take away other than, this is par for the course. This is what Jimmy has shown us that he's capable and of doing and frequently does since he's been in Miami, right? Like he'll do what's necessary throughout the game. If he feels like the team needs him to be a facilitator, then he'll do that. When he feels like the team needs to get some easier baskets, they're having a hard time scoring, he'll get more into attack mode and look to get to the rim and draw fouls and all of that. I just think he played a phenomenal all-around game. Like he had a super solid floor game. Defensively, he was awesome, playing the passing lanes, bothering ball handlers, blowing up actions, defensively off ball and on ball. Like he's just, I don't think that the casual fan probably recognizes just how good he is and how many impactful things that he does on the court, because it's not all about the scoring with him. There's so many, he's just a basketball player, right? Like he just does he has such a wide variety and a range of different things that he finds and does throughout the game to impact the game. The team needed it. Like you guys had mentioned, in the fourth quarter, the Raptors started tightening it up and he just put his head down, started, taking over, made a couple of big threes, like just big shots, man. Shots that he hasn't been making his whole time in Miami, save for, a few in the playoffs. And so he just doesn't give a what. Like he doesn't care, man. He does what's needed and he's got balls of steel. Jimmy gets a double shot of espresso after tonight's game. Coffee's for closers, boys.
Hey, Big Face Coffee stock is rising tonight. I'm just going to read out the stat line because it was a great stat line. 27 points on 8 of 17 shooting, 3 of 4 from deep. I feel like he hit more threes tonight than he has his whole Miami Heat tenure. 8 of 8 from free throw line, 8 rebounds, 10 assists, flirting with almost another triple-double, 3 steals and a block. Yeah, dude, what did you like from what you saw from Jimmy Butler?
What didn't I like? Like, this team, like, they needed someone to kind of give them that spark. I think the Raptors cut it to like a 4-point game, I want to say. And from then on, it was Jimmy Butler time. Like, driving to the rim, hitting a mid-range, pull-up 3, set shot 3. Like, dude, that type of performance, like, this just it makes me so happy that the max player, Jimmy Butler, chose to come to Miami. And it's made life so much easier as a Heat fan. Like, he is the driving force behind this team being at least last year they were a legitimate contender. I still think they're like 1 or 2 moves away, but they look good right now. Like, I'm very happy with the improvement that I've seen from this team. I'm all smiles tonight, honestly. Like, winning this game in the fashion which we won it, like, the Raptors played well. We just played better, and it's been so long since we've had one of those games. I'm super happy with the way Jimmy played. I'm happy he is on our team. So that's all I want to say.
No, man, you couldn't have said it any better. When D-Wade retired, it almost felt like it was going to leave a hole in your heart because you didn't know who was going to kind of be that guy. But Jimmy really kind of stepped up, and he kind of became that guy in our hearts. He embraced the Heat culture so much. And for him to have a game like he did tonight, it just was phenomenal. It just showed us, just reminded everybody who Jimmy Butler really is. It showed it not only off the stat sheet, which we know as Heat fans what he's going to do, but on the stat sheet as well. He just filled it out. Simba, do you have anything to add about what you saw from Jimmy Butler?
Yeah, man, they dared him to shoot, right? And he finally took it. And we keep saying, like, they keep doing the dribble handoff and they keep backing off everybody. And credit to him for actually hitting it. His legs look good. They look fresh today because his jumpers usually aren't going in as well. They looked good today all around. Yeah, man, I was happy with Jimmy, and he took over. He did what he needed to do. So fucking credit to Jimmy, because if not, like, Dad would be so pissed tonight.
Dude,
Jimmy and Andre hit 7 out of 9 threes. If we lost a game with that stat line, I would be furious right now. But I'm not. I'm very happy, and I'm all smiles because of that. So thank you, Jimmy Butler. Thank you, Andre Iguodala. Thank you, Gabe Vincent. Like, even this man decided to show up and actually play well today. So
yeah, Gabe Vincent. Go ahead.
Oh, thanks, buddy. If we're in the, if we're at the point where we're thanking guys, I feel like somebody we haven't talked about yet that we need to touch on is Bam, because Bam was phenomenal on the boards. He had such a good all-around game. He terrorized them. He had I think he had 6 offensive rebounds. It felt like he had 10 at least. Just, keeping possessions alive, giving the Heat second chances to score, which is not really something that, his rebounding's been a little bit down this year, but that feels mostly like a function of him switching out on the perimeter so frequently that he's not in position all the time to get rebounds. Whereas tonight, I felt like he switched out less, and he switched out less when he didn't need to, which is the biggest thing, right? I've been harping on the fact that he needs to be a little bit smarter in selecting when to switch and not just switching out on the perimeter onto a guard just for the sake of switching and leaving a mismatch inside. And tonight I felt like he did a really good job of being smart with that. And the end result was, he was in position more, in the paint more. He grabbed offensive rebounds, and it paid off because the Heat's offense looked really, really good overall. And part of it is because they had so many second chance opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have said it better, man. I mean, Bam took that snub personally. My favorite play was when he used the Siakam spin move on Pascal Siakam, and then he dunked it. That was definitely the best play of the game overall.
Mm-hmm.
That was the play that
was an all-star move.
That was an all-star move,
yes,
and that was
sir.
2 all-star players tonight. Showed them what real all-stars. Look, most of those guys should have been all-stars, but come on, Vucevic,
Listen,
come on.
That's the biggest one. The one I most have beef with. Like, I know his numbers are great and all that, but if you're going to reward it, if the argument is that teams with bad records don't get all-stars because they're not in the playoffs or whatever it is, then you can't give a team that's below Miami in the playoffs an all-star when the Heat have 2 guys that we know not only are superstars, but at the very least, I think Jimmy is, but they've been playing at that level, right? And I know the knock against Jimmy is that he's missed some time, but it's not like he missed like 3/4 of the season. He missed, I think it was like 9 or 10 games, 11 games, whatever it was. When he's been on the court, he's been amazing. And the last 3 weeks or so, 4 weeks since he's been back, have to count for something because his numbers are unbelievable. Jimmy Butler is an all-star. You can't tell me otherwise. And so if I had to drop somebody, it would be Vooch, even though I do agree he's having a great season.
Yeah, he definitely is. But like you said, I don't think he's having a better year than Bam either. I think the knock is always going to be there with Bam, is that everybody knows he has another level. They're kind of waiting for that. So I think that's what it is. But tonight, he looked great, man. And like we all say, like, be more aggressive, be more aggressive. I don't think anybody tonight can say, Bam, I wish you were more aggressive. Like, it looked like every time he had a chance, he went for it, like for good, for better, for worse, he went for it. So I think he had a great night.
I just want to comment on the All-Star thing. I mean, I might be the only Heat fan, but honestly, I feel like this might be a blessing in disguise because
100% right. 100%.
Bam's going to be angry. Jimmy's going to be angry. We saw that a bit tonight. And I mean, this All-Star year, it really just doesn't feel normal. Like, you're not getting the full All-Star experience. There's no fans involved, whatever. It's just going to be a melting pot for COVID, and there's probably going to be players coming out of that, like, kind of getting those close contacts, and they have to miss a few games. Like, no, this team is rolling, and now you got Bam and Jimmy kind of just sitting at home, resting a little bit. Like, yes, you want to have all-stars on your team, but we know these guys are all-star players. Like, I'm fine with that. Exactly. We know they play better as underdogs. Like, they're just a ragtag group with no all-stars, but
I don't know why. Like, over here in my house, it's not flashing. It's only on, like, here on the screen with you guys. So
what's flashing? You guys see any flashing?
Simba, I don't think that's allowed on YouTube, man. But yeah, dude, I really don't think you could have said it better. And I didn't really even think about it as well. Like Ricky's saying as well, like, they're going to Atlanta.
Yeah,
they're going to Atlanta.
Parties. It's All-Star weekend. Like, you'd be foolish to think that these players are going to fly across the country and sit in a hotel room for the entire time. I just don't.
Everybody's going to go and try out those wings that Lou Williams was talking about last year.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, let's see how good this place actually is.
Is that where you were in that picture?
Yeah, I remember,
man. I agree with you guys. I had said, like, in the group chat that I do think that it's probably the best thing that could happen to them from a team perspective and from a motivational perspective. My only thing is, like, if you're somebody, I'm looking at this maybe from Jimmy's perspective, I think, but also from a fan perspective. So if you're somebody who cares about this sort of thing, Jimmy's case to get into the Hall of Fame, I think that, right, he's only had like 5 All-Star appearances, I think. Mm-hmm. So these things matter at the end of your career, right? And one missed All-Star here and there, it might matter. And I agree that, like, if you win a championship, right, and he's the best player and he wins a championship, then that probably goes away. But I do think that just the legacy part of this should come into play a little bit, and that's why I think some people are a little pissed at it.
I mean, yeah, but to be a Hall of Famer, I understand the All-Star argument. He could still have a chance to be All-NBA this year, which in my opinion is much more impactful than being an All-Star. That's personally how I feel about it. But at the end of the day, to be a Hall of Famer, you have to do something relatively extraordinary throughout your career. And he was on the cusp of doing that last year. But if he's able to win a championship in Miami, considering the super team in Brooklyn, considering AD and LeBron, considering the Clippers, then he'll for sure be in the Hall of Fame. And I think that's what he's going to need to do. But I don't want to talk about what Jimmy Butler needs to do. I just want to talk about what he did tonight. I'm so happy he's on our team. I'm so happy about it.
Yeah. I mean, perfect performance for Jimmy Butler. I mean, you couldn't ask for more. You really couldn't ask for more from the guy. Like I said, just him hitting those threes, it almost felt surprising that he was hitting those threes because he just hasn't been taking them. And even the mid-range jumpers, he's been abandoning the mid-range more recently as well. Let's get to somebody. Do you guys have anything else to say on Bam? Because Bam looked great tonight. He came out hot. As soon as he touched the ball for the first time, he took a turnaround jump shot, which I thought was great. Even though he missed it, I thought it was great that he went and he took that jump shot. And 7 for 11 from tonight. 11 field goal attempts is okay. You definitely want to see a little more from that, but he was impacting game the other way.
How many offensive rebounds did he have tonight?
6 offensive rebounds. He had many as offensive rebounds as he did defensive rebounds. So dude was all over the place. You couldn't ask for more. Let's talk about a guy that made his return tonight, Goran Dragic. He came back tonight. Wasn't the best shooting. 4 of 13. He did end up in double figures. Had 15 points, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 2 of 6 from deep. Couple of rebounds, couple of assists. I really like what I saw from tonight. He was creating for other players. He was settling everything down. He was hitting a couple shots. 15 points for a guy just coming back off an injury. That's great, in my opinion. Let's get to you, Simba. You didn't really say much yet. What did you feel about the comeback that Goran made tonight?
Yeah, man, I think he he controls everything, right? I think just him being on the court, it really settles everybody down. There was not too. I think there was probably 3 or 4 times where the offense didn't look like they knew what they were doing. But compare that to every game that we have where it's oh God, here we go again. And the whole second half looks like we don't have a plan. So I think with Goran Dragic being there, he's just like a leader on there, right? He just knows what he's doing. And I think the transition offense, I think we look so much scarier, right? With Goran Dragic being out there, nobody is as good as him. Not even Jimmy Butler. I don't think yet. But the way he just runs straight down the floor and he can go through all that contact, I think that's the difference with having Goran Dragic here. It's just that the offensive impact is just at a higher. It's what we've been missing. It's what we've been saying we need this whole year.
And I think it's perfect because now we have the point guard off the bench to come in and settle things off. Once we have Hero coming back, we're going to have that perfect 1-2 combo coming off the bench. And this was just a taste of what we're doing. What did we score tonight? 116 points? We've been scoring at a way better pace lately. And having Goran coming back tonight and then having Hero come back in the future with an easier second half of the season, that's something that can come out and terrorize teams. Really, really terrorize teams that lack depth, that lack scoring. And we've been doing a great job defensively as well. Gad, what do you feel about what Goran brought to the table?
It just, in terms of being off the bench, just taking the ball out of Iguodala's hands and not making him the primary playmaker off the bench was really, really good. I was hoping he would be able to maximize Precious. Today was just not a very good Precious game, but that's fine. You know what? He's still growing. He'll work through whatever he's working through, and he'll continue to improve. Still don't think he should be playing the 5. I think he's a 4. But, yeah, Goran just – even on a night where he didn't shoot well, it just felt so good to have him on the court. And I don't really care exactly what his plus minus or what his efficiency was. He just helps this team. And I think we all had the team. I keep saying we. I'm not on the team. I'm literally sitting here. But the team had a really good energy from the start. And when Goran came in, you kind of heard the fans a little bit too. It's just everybody was really happy about Goran being back. And he looked better than he did before the injury, in my opinion. He had a little bit of burst going downhill, and that's what we need. That's what we need off the bench if you have Goran there. So I'm happy Goran's healthy. My biggest thing is he's healthy. He looked fully healthy, and that's what you want to see from Goran. Now you don't want to rely on him too much in order to keep moving forward. Just keep him at a 24 to 28 minutes a game, and let Hero kind of develop some alongside him.
No, I agree. 20 minutes tonight, 15 points. That's perfect. That's perfect for me. Keep him at that all season long because we've seen over the last couple seasons that his body starts to break down a little bit. He's getting older as a player, and you can't rely on him that much anymore. But 20 minutes is perfect for me. Ariel, what did you see what did you see that you liked from Goran Dragic?
I don't feel like there's that much else to say. I think you guys pretty much hit on all the key points here. If I were to summarize it, I think that like you both or all three of you had said, he brings a steadying, kind of feeling to the second unit. It's just a good player, man. One of the leaders of the team, definitely gives them an emotional boost. You can see that. I don't know if you guys felt like the team played with a little bit more confidence tonight, and that might just be a result of them, stringing a few good games together. But I also feel like part of it is that they have their guy back, right? He means a lot to this team. Jimmy loves him. Everybody loves him. He's one of the leaders on the roster. I kind of feel like he looks like he's lost like maybe half a step. I don't know if that's just, he's just coming off of an injury and hasn't played in a little while and he's just a little rusty and needs to get up to game speed and all of that stuff, get his wind done, get his lungs back and all of that. But yeah, he looks like he's kind of lost a little bit of a step to me. The shot was flat, but I just think that's just rust. That's just, he hasn't played in a while. I'm not too worried about him. I think you made a great point, Jonathan. If we could see him in 20 to 25 minutes a night at most for the regular season and try and preserve him for the playoffs, then that would be ideal, but he helps a lot. And having him means that you don't have to play both Gabe Vincent and Max Strus, which I know like some, they've had a few good games here and there, but consistently speaking, you want Goran, you want Tyler, you want those guys on the court. You want as little Gabe Vincent and Max Strus as possible because a team that expects to make a run in the playoffs isn't playing Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. That's just the reality.
I mean, you're right. I mean, Gabe Vincent did have a couple of good moments this game. He had that first half clear path foul that he got a steal from that helped us keep the momentum. And then he had the 3-point shot before the end of the third quarter when Fred VanVleet had that crazy circus shot.
His step back there was the one where he went like he lost the ball and was like behind his back and hit one at the end of the shot clock. I was like, oh shit, Gabe. Okay.
So he hit a couple of good shots. Want to give credit where credit due. Gabe Vincent did have a decent game tonight, so want to credit him. Maybe he's a guy that can be that 15th man or 14th man or something that'll just help to keep the depth.
UD is the 15th man, bro.
True that. 14th man. We'll give him 14th. What you multitasking doing down there, bro?
Somebody's sending me some texts, man. I'm just reading them. We got some Manscaped stuff coming up, so I'm trying to get it ready for next time.
I got you. Yeah, so Ariel, we talked a lot about Goran Dragic. Let's talk about our other point guard, Kendrick Nunn. I felt like although he didn't have the best game stat line wise, he really did have an impact on the game. He had that strip steal when we had that turnover late on Fred VanVleet that really helped put that momentum back in our corner. 7 assists overall. He had 3 of the first 4 shots that we made as a team were assisted on by Kendrick Nunn. What did you like from what you saw from Kendrick Nunn?
I just thought he had a really good floor game, which is not something that I feel like we've been able to say very frequently. For Kendrick Nunn, it's kind of just like he functions as a microwave scorer who's either on or off. And if he's off, he gives you absolutely nothing else. If anything, he hurts you sometimes. But he's been on a hot streak lately. He's really like his confidence is up. Putting him into the starting lineup was probably one of the best moves that Spo's made this season. It kind of happened out of necessity a little bit, but I think it was a really, really good move. He's played really, really well. And the thing is, like with him, in the past, like I said, if he's not scoring, he's not giving you anything else. Tonight, he gave you 7 assists, right? He had, where is Kendrick Nunn? 7 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, a block. Like, he just had a good all-around game. You and I were talking on here before the stream started. I was surprised that he only had 7 points. Like, I felt like he had much more of an impact on the game. And so that's how you know that he's taken some steps as a player. He is getting better. We might have thought that because he's a little bit older that there might not be a ton of room to grow there and that he kind of just is what he is. But he's shown us this season he's making better reads with his passing. He's made a few entry passes into the post and under the basket that I haven't seen him make for the first year plus in Miami. And he's made those in the last couple of weeks. And so there's definitely been growth there. And I think there's a lot to be encouraged. He's becoming a more useful player than we definitely thought he was going to be going into the season.
Yeah, one thing I'll say about Nunn, though, is that you can tell his game drops a little bit when Goran Dragic is in the game, right? Like he just loses his efficiency. He kind of just stands around. Like he gets the ball really taken out of his hands. I really wish that they could try to utilize him more with Goran Dragic, just because I don't want none to ever regress back to where he was. But yeah, I think that he attacks the passing lane so well now. Like it has a little bit of that Jimmy Butler feel, So yeah, those are. But yeah, like you guys said, none impact wise. Like he left his mark on this game. Like yeah, he didn't score a lot, but he was there, and we needed him.
Yeah, Gad, do you got anything to add about Kendrick Nunn, or you want to start on Duncan Robertson? Because
he's gonna say how happy he is about everything.
No, I'm happy tonight, but my thing with Nunn is, I think he needs to play. Like, I think he deserves to be in the starting lineup, primarily because he's not kind of what you alluded to, Simba. He's not the best at playing with other ball dominant guards, I want to say, but for some reason he's really good at playing off of Jimmy and Bam. Yeah. Like when he's on, Jimmy and Bam make players better, so I guess it makes sense. But he's really good at playing off of Jimmy and Bam. So I would like to see Nunn continue to start moving forward, unless his team makes a trade or something. But if the team, as long as the team stays the way the team is, I think Kendrick Nunn definitely deserves to start. One thing I did want to point out, because I'm really happy tonight, but I still want to kind of keep the same energy for some players. I'll criticize them when they play well, praise them when they play poorly. Or no, other way around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got you.
My mind's going crazy right now. But Kelly Olynyk has hit
finally. I was waiting.
2 threes in the last 7 games.
Bro, he's 2 for his last 28.
Jeez.
2 like
2
I
for
understand
28.
plus minus and whatever, like all that stuff is like he plays the Heat play well when he's on the floor, so that doesn't really make sense. Like the eye test doesn't really match up with the stats. Kelly needs to start shooting or leave.
He did shoot though. He's how many? What was he? 2 for 9 tonight or something like
3
that?
for 9, but I think he was 0 for 5 from 3.
Yeah,
He's
I mean,
absolutely
I will say one
ice
thing
cold.
about Kelly. He rebounded tonight more than I think he's rebounded is this whole year for the Miami Heat. Like, so he didn't have a good shooting night, but he had a couple important rebounds or deflects, to Kendrick Nunn and
I mean, I would hope so. Their team is so small. This is a game where, like, if Kelly didn't get 7 rebounds, I'd be a little bit disappointed.
Look, I've seen games where the ball literally falls in his hand and it just like
the guard just takes it from him.
And I'm like, how does that
so
happen
much.
to you, man?
Yeah.
It's because he licks his fucking hand so much.
Awareness isn't really the best when he's grabbing rebounds. It's just frustrating to watch Kelly play, especially like he does it at the beginning of every single third quarter. He'll just take these off-balance threes for no reason, because when he shoots a set 3, it's actually a pretty good shot. Yeah, Ariel, I guess I'm slandering all of Canada right now. But
I'm American, by the way. I just live in Canada. But go off, guys.
Kelly, man.
Let's bring that attitude back up. Go ahead, Simba.
Weakest in the starting lineup.
Where's your mic at, bro?
Me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sounds like you're talking through a Game Boy Advance right now.
Yeah, let's get that smile back on your face, bro. What do you see from Duncan Robinson, man? Simba, you can hop back in if you got a mic working. Can we hear you okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, there you go. Go ahead. I can hear you better now.
I just didn't want to talk. All right, go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So, Gad, I wanted to get that smile back on your face. So talk to me about Duncan Robinson, man. He had a great game. He played well. Only thing that I didn't really like is that he had a couple of ticky-tack fouls. You know what I mean? He tends to pick those up. I don't know if the refs just hate him because of the skin tone or whatever it is, but refs just seem to hate him. You know what I mean? But otherwise, he had a great shooting game. It's actually the second game in a row that I felt like he's had a string of games that he's been hitting these threes. What did you like from Duncan Robinson?
I mean, I tweeted from the 5 on the floor account before the game, like 5 things to watch, and you're playing against guards that are like 6'1", 6 foot. You should be able to get shots off cleanly. Like you're 6'7" with long arms. Right. So I was happy that he was confidently taking those shots. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what I expected from Duncan. Like he's been slumping a little bit and he always plays good when we're at home. So, I mean, I don't have any stats to back that up, but it seems that he always plays good when, we're at home. So I was happy with Duncan. Yeah, he's in the right spots more often than not defensively. I think he just gets nervous when he's on an island and kind of just starts to panic with his hands a little bit because like he'll have some possessions where he'll play some pretty solid defense. And then there's other possessions where he just doesn't understand the concept of not giving up baseline. And he just lets people go straight to the rim. He did that with Lowry at some point in the fourth quarter, and Lowry just had a wide open pass to Norman Powell. And then it was a Norman Powell dunk. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with Duncan. Just kind of getting his confidence back is going to be big for this team moving forward. So today was a good game for him.
Yeah. Anything else you guys got to add on Duncan Robertson?
Yeah, he's had a couple of good games back to back. Three of his last 4 games, he's had 20, 22, and 17 with a bunch of threes. I feel like I don't know if he's really changed anything in his approach. I feel like earlier in the season and really up until this point, teams had, bumped him up on the scouting report and done to him what teams did to him in a lot of the playoffs, which is, they fight over the handoffs. They know the handoff is coming, so they crowd him, and a lot of his looks are contested or he can't even get to them because there's just no space. But I like that he's hunting for the shots a little bit more. It might result in some more misses, but it does a lot of good things for the offense. It opens up a lot on the floor. And like Spo says, you want Duncan taking a lot of threes. Where he hurts you is when he doesn't shoot, right? And he's just kind of out there running around. And while that does some good things for the spacing, at the end of the day, you need to shoot. You've got to get shots up. He's such a good shooter. He can't afford to not shoot. And so it seems, shout out Alex Toledo again. It seems rudimentary and kind of obvious, but shooters got to shoot, man. And I like that he's added, that ability to put the ball on the deck a little bit more. When guys run at him at the 3-point line, he'll take a couple dribbles inside. We've seen him make a mid-range jumper here and there. It's not a huge part of his game yet, but it feels like that's something he's working on adding. He's actually a pretty decent finisher around the rim. I don't have the numbers on that, but it feels like he's really good around the rim. So yeah, I like what he's added to his game. I like the way he's playing, and hopefully he can keep it up.
Yeah, man. Dunk had a great game. Overall, I felt that the team just had a great game. I was looking at the rebound numbers, 50-37 in the rebounding advantage. We outscored them in the paint, 36-26, 39-24 bench scoring. 14 turnovers for the Toronto Raptors. We only had 11 tonight, and that has been a problem for us all season long. It was great for us to see us take care of the ball. I think a big part of that might be Goran Dragic coming off the bench. We were also able to score off the turnovers that the Raptors gave us, 14 turnovers for them, and we made them pay for it. So great game by the Miami Heat overall. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better game, a more gritty game for us to pull it out, and our leader, Jimmy Butler, coming out at the end. Anything else you guys want to talk about this game, or you want to talk about the trade talk that everybody's talking in the comments?
Before we get to trade talks, because we're kind of on a roll right now, I do want to ask about the next game, because we've been building. Like, we beat the Lakers, although they didn't have everybody. Now we got the Jazz, who I think still have the best record in the NBA. Dude, Ron keeps saying, do we beat the Jazz? So I put that as my name. Just wanted to remind myself when I asked that question. So what do you guys think? Do we beat the Jazz? They're playing the Lakers right now?
Yeah, I think they're up by 16.
No, we're not beating. The Heat are not beating them, bro.
No, I don't really think we have the firepower offensively.
The Lakers are missing Anthony Davis again tonight, right?
Yeah, and then they got Rudy Gobert just destroying them on the inside with no Anthony Davis.
Conley's back. They're good. They're a good basketball team,
They're
dude.
great.
Yeah.
They play beautiful basketball. But the one thing I do want to point out is since we played that game and our ball movement was horrible, we have been moving the ball much, much better since the last time we played the Jazz. So maybe we picked up a few things from them. I'm hoping that it's going to be it's going to be a tough game for us to win because, Danny C., Clarkson, and Conley are hella underrated. That is extremely true.
Yeah.
They are really good, but the way this Heat team is playing and defending, I think we can make it a close game, and then it's going to come down to here comes Rookie with the negativity. Man, let us dream for a little bit. Like, we're playing well. Let's see. I just want to see how we compete against the Jazz. Like, keep it a good game. Show that you belong on the floor with them, because last time they missed shots in the first half, and then once they started hitting their shots, we did not belong on the floor with them.
Right.
I want to see us look like we belong against the Jazz. That's all I want to see. Win or lose, if that's what we get, I will not be upset, but Ideally, you want to win this game and keep this momentum going.
Look, just to make the devil's advocate argument here, I have the Jazz probably winning that game, but of course it's a basketball game, right? Absolutely anything can happen. That's the most obvious thing that you can say on a basketball stream, but it's just the reality. And so I feel like the Heat can win if, they lock down on defense, keep doing what they're doing. It's going to be really tough because the Jazz move the ball so well, and the Heat have had so much trouble this season with, scrambling around and closing out to shooters and knowing when to close out, who to help off of, who not to help off of. It's been a point of weakness for Miami's defense, though they have been more connected as of late, and it kind of feels like it's happened since right around that loss, maybe, after the Clippers game and the Warriors game. So probably for about the last 4 games or so, it feels like they've taken a step and they've figured some things out. And now with Goran back, their confidence is up. I don't know how much that counts for on a basketball court, but I do think they can beat the Jazz. I'm going to pick the Jazz, but if Jimmy decides to go supernova, if Bam sees Rudy Gobert and sees Rudy Gobert's face and just feels like dunking on him all the time like he did last season, you never know, man. Like, they could pull off an upset, and that would really, really propel this team.
Because I'm a stud. I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone. I smoke my stogie anywhere I want.
That's Ariel.
It's my favorite clip in all of 5 Reasons history.
Man, he's killing it tonight. But I'm with you, man. Yeah, as usual. If I was a betting man, I definitely would probably bet on the Jazz this game. But I felt like this game was a good indication of how we can form against good teams.
Time out.
Go ahead.
The number 1 rule with betting is you never bet against the teams that you like.
100%.
This is true.
Just point that out there. Like,
I bet against.
Saying that
you bet against the team you like. You bet against the team you like all the time.
Listen, if you like the Knicks, you bet against.
No, we got negativity in the chat.
No, you bet against the team you like all the time. Man.
We got realism in the chat.
Manny, do something about this.
On the Lakers, and then the Heat ended up winning that game.
No, I didn't. No. But for example, Orlando, the first game of the season, Orlando Magic, I was like, we're not fucking winning this game.
All right, guys, we've been like insanely positive all stream. Let's let Adam go ahead and ruin the party.
It's a good win. Keep up the momentum. Make small moves. Don't trade real assets.
So you're not. What? You can't just leave them and come back.
Hey, that's it. He's like Yoda. He comes in when you need him, and then he leaves when you don't.
It's like a dine and dash, bro. What the hell is that?
We can take this one, though, because we've talked about this a ton, right? Like, I personally, and I think probably at least a couple of you would agree with me that this team is not really in a position to where you want to put significant assets on the table for a player who makes you better now but doesn't improve you into the future, or you don't really see propelling this team in the future. An example would be putting a couple of your better assets on the table in like a Kyle Lowry trade. He would make you better this season, but A, does that make you a championship team? I personally don't think so. And B, are you really going to pay him going forward at age 35, right? And so I just kind of don't really feel like that's the move. I think what Adam is alluding to, and what a lot of us have I know I've been beating the drum on, make a move that makes sense into the future, but don't put any real assets on the table if you don't see yourself keeping that player in the future. So a guy like John Collins makes a ton of sense if that's feasible. But but that's what he was getting at.
Well, for example, Adam would say like trade, Goran Dragic. After this win, do you still want to trade Goran Dragic?
I mean, it depends what you're getting in return. As I think it always depends for everything.
It depends on the return. If you can get a first-round pick, you send him like before you can even get off the phone. He's on the plane.
A Godfather offer. You're not trading him.
But I actually got a question. With Nunn playing the way he's been playing, right? Do you think the Heat are more inclined to trade away like a Tyler Hero now? Because I know that they used to say he's untouchable.
No, unless you're getting an A1 star. Before we get on with that, I want to shout out Richard Campbell for the donation, asking what are we doing with closing lineups moving forward. Earlier it was Goran Tyler, but Spo trusts K Nunn defense. Rest Goran or sit Tyler when we need defense. So before we continue with the trade talks, what do you guys think about the closing lineups? Who do you think is going to be in that closing lineup?
It's whoever has it going that night. Spo usually has like a couple of guys, like Jimmy and Bam are going to close, and oftentimes Tyler's going to be in that closing lineup, and then it's just whoever's playing best. If it's Iggy, it's going to be Iggy. If it's I don't know, Goran might have a step up on that. Spo likes to close with Goran. as well. Sometimes Kelly if he's having a good game, but generally speaking, it's Jimmy, Bam, Tyler, and then whoever's playing well that night. When it
I
comes
concur.
to yeah.
Yeah, ride the hot hand. That's all I got for that.
How happy are you, Gab?
I mean, I'm happy as hell tonight. Like, you already know how I'm feeling tonight. I'm all smiles right now. We beat the Raptors, and if I told you 1 week ago that we would have beaten the Raptors off like a 4 or 5 game win streak, you would have said I was crazy. So, you know what? We went from losing to Amir Coffey to beating Kyle Lowry on a hot night. That's all smiles for me. Oh, come on. No, get him out of here. Get him out of here.
So let's we got a couple more minutes here before we close out. Couple of trade targets as far as smaller guys. We've heard the name Bjelica before. We've heard Rudy Gay. We've heard a couple other names, maybe Lonzo Ball. Adam, I'll show this one to you. Which one of these guys do you think is the most likely to end up with Miami? Rudy Gay.
Unmute. Come on, man.
He said Rudy Gay, but I think his mic's muted.
Rudy Gay far and above all the other ones.
Yes.
Do you think him going into the protocols in any way affects any of it, or is it just a waiting game now to see when he comes out of that?
I think him with the protocol may have had a say in some things. I would still trade Kendrick. Sell
100%.
high, free agent. You've shown that you're not going to pay people more than 1 year anyway, so don't change that philosophy with Kendrick. I would trade Kendrick. Maybe I would also trade Kelly, but that's what I mean by not real assets. Real assets are Duncan and Tyler. Those are real assets. I would only trade, just for people that don't understand what I'm saying, I would trade Duncan for 2 firsts. I wouldn't trade him for 1. If you trade him for 1, you're an idiot, right? You trade him for 2, otherwise you keep him and you pay him. That's what I'm saying. Goran, they'll never trade him, but I would trade him for a first-round pick because that's what makes the most sense. It's a great offer for a 35-year-old point guard. Otherwise, they're on the right track. Go get a Boogie. Go get Rudy Gay. Get a defensive guard, and you're on track for a 4 seed. But don't trade any real assets for something that doesn't catapult you into the finals.
No, you're 100% right. You don't want to give up anything on this team that'll, help us in the future. If the end goal isn't a championship, a championship. Because if we're giving up somebody like Tyler, or if we're giving up somebody or like Duncan for somebody that's going to help us be a fringe playoff team, we're just wasting time. These guys are guys that can be flipped to real assets, to real star players, or if not, we can keep them and use them in the future. Any of you guys think that we have a better fit coming for Miami?
Rudy Gay.
Yeah, I like the Rudy Gay. I like the Rudy Gay idea as well. I think he fits nicely next to Bam. Spurs people on Twitter are saying that he's defended better this year than he has in the past. So hopefully that's something that would carry over. I like that move for Miami, and I don't think it costs too much. You don't have to give up any of your prime assets. Hopefully, you better not for a Rudy Gay, and so it makes sense. I like the Rudy Gay idea.
Adam, let me ask you about Lonzo Ball, because a lot of people are asking about Lonzo Ball. Do you feel like we would have to give up a real asset for him, and do you feel like he would be worth paying if we do trading for him?
Mute again.
Can I just say like this? You would have to give up a real asset for Lonzo because he's a young guy. He's restricted. You get to keep him for at least 4 years. I would probably say something in equivalent to a first-round pick, future first. Something in that equivalent, right? Maybe a combination of Kendrick and maybe you do Kendrick, you send him to OKC, you unlock the pick in 2023, and then you send the 2025 pick to New Orleans, something like that. I'm just spitballing here. It's not sources or anything.
Right.
So something like that could also get you probably a John Collins. So
do you feel like that's still a realistic option for us?
Everything is realistic at this point. This team, like the front office, believes that they have a contender. And they believe that the time is now, and Jimmy's timeline is right now. So they're going to move forward in whatever way they believe will get them a ring this year. Okay? But they're also not stupid. They won't trade Tyler for Kyle Lowry or something. They're not dumb. Unlocking the pick, the OKC pick, allows them to trade future first-round picks. And that's the currency that we live in the NBA. So that's just the scenario that I'm just throwing at you. It's something that could actually happen, right? It's just me spitballing again, but it's something. So
fair enough. Fair enough.
Question.
Answer.
In terms of Rudy Gay, I don't know if it was you or if it was Ethan that mentioned that Aldridge being attached to him would kind of make it like a much more feasible deal for the Spurs. Do you think that is something that's actually realistic, like getting Gay and Aldridge right now?
So the preference for the Heat is to keep Iggy at all costs.
Then you would have to give up Iggy in that deal?
They would prefer to keep Iggy. So if you do something like Myers, Kelly, and extra stuff, right? They would want to do that. But would the Spurs want to do that? Maybe because we know that Rudy Gay and LaMarcus in particular, he's not a positive for that team. He wants out. You know what? Maybe I should hold this for club.
I wanted to get on
Royal.
Hey.
Thank you.
Royal, you're too smart, Royal.
Thought you were done with this show.
And he's out.
Slip through our grasp.
Ruined everything.
Oh man! All right, so we're getting on 15 minutes.
That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. You just in and out, man. One pump chump. So yeah, let's get to paying some bills. You guys have any final thoughts? Any final thoughts about the game we have tonight? Game we got tomorrow? Any transaction talk or anything like that? Anything you guys want to touch on before we close everything out and pay the bills?
Shit, I'm happy as hell. I'm hoping I can keep this energy moving forward into after the game on Friday. But look, I've been saying it. We're like 2 pieces away from being in that conversation to be an Eastern Conference Finals team. And I think Rudy Gay is one of those pieces. I'll let the Heat front office decide what the other piece is. But I'm happy with the way this team's playing. They look much closer than they were a few weeks ago, and they're trending in the right direction. It's nice to not be in the lottery, but we still need to win like a lot more games.
Yeah.
But the schedule looks good. Pretty much after this Jazz game, the schedule looks good. So I'm happy with the way they played today, and hopefully, really fingers crossed, if we beat the Jazz, then we're going to have a fun post game on Friday. And if we don't, we'll probably still have fun. But like if we beat the Jazz, we'll have a fun post game on Friday. Like fun, like 3 U's, capitals, all caps lock.
F is for friends who do stuff together. No,
but like more fun. Like, I'll change my name to it. Like,
Simba, you got anything to say about anything we talked about this episode?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited for the step that it looks like we're taking a step in the right direction. Each of these games, like there's always been a little bit of positive, and I feel like in the past, the season, we would win a game and everybody would be like, "Oh, we're going towards the right direction," and then like we wouldn't take anything positive from the last game and we would shit the bed. So this game, I feel like we're actually doing stuff and we look pretty good. We look like a team, right? Like we looked like we were in the finals somewhat last year. So let's keep riding that, and hopefully, I don't expect the Heat to beat the Jazz, but they are in LA tonight. They got to come here and we got to play on Friday. That's across the U.S. It's a long trip. You get me? They are coming to Miami. Stuff happens in Miami. We got good wings too, so let's see what happens, if it's competitive, like I'll be happy.
You said good wings. Are you talking like food wings, or like we have like good like NBA wings, like NBA caliber wings,
like chicken wings that?
Yeah, we got like
some
there's some places here that sell wings that are really good.
Your local Hooters. Let's go.
Oh, not the Hooters.
You're an idiot.
Oh, come on with the Hooters, bro.
Not the Hooters.
It's right across from AAA, so
so average.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, right. You had nothing there at all.
What are you? An idiot sandwich.
We're gonna have fun.
We're gonna have fun.
Right.
We're gonna have lots of fun. Ariel, anything you gotta say about anything?
No, I guess good win. Hopefully they can keep building on this. I like the way the team's been playing, and they're gonna lose to the Jazz in the next game, and I hope I'm wrong.
Don't say it so definitively.
I said I hope I'm wrong.
To the Jazz. You should be like, it's going to be a tough game against the Jazz. We don't know what's going to happen.
I said all that before, though.
You're pigeonholing yourself into being wrong if they win.
I hope I'm wrong. I want so badly to be wrong.
Okay, as long as
he wants to reverse jinx it.
There you go. I was about to say there may or may not be a reverse jinx happening here. I don't know.
I reverse jinx my way to a fantasy football title, so I get it. I get it.
It works.
Well, but they're going to lose. They're definitely losing. So it is what it is, guys.
Great game overall. We couldn't ask for it. It was probably one of the more exciting games of the season. Jimmy had a phenomenal fourth quarter. It felt like we were last year's team, like last year's playoff team. Shout out Alejandro, still checking out the game, even though he's not producing. Shout out Manny producing, doing a fire job.
Shout out Jaime for being one of the smartest dudes in the comments too.
We got the game against the Jazz Friday. Like you were saying, they were missing shots in that first half, but in the first half when we played them last time, we were still competitive with them. And with the way that Coach Spo is scheming up these defenses and doing everything like that, it's going to be interesting to see what he does against this Jazz team that moves the ball so well. So we'll see how we do that game. And hey, we got to win. We're one game away from the 4 seed, and we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get in this playoffs. We're not even be in play-ins. We're not gonna have to worry about that. So let's get into paying the bills. I'm gonna start with our main sponsor, Biscayne Bay Brewing. Check out the Tropical Bay IPA. They got phenomenal beer. I'm not a drinker myself, but I had one of those, and it was great. It was absolutely great. Couldn't ask for anything better. I know Simba want to do that Manscaped ad. So Simba, go ahead and shout out that Manscaped one.
Well, right before I get to Manscaped, also remember that next week we got a cross promo with Biscayne Bay Brewing and Miami Grill. So keep an eye out for the contest. We're going to have a couple of listeners join us over there. And if you're trying to shave your balls, right, like you're having a hard time lately, fellas, Christian Torres, you look like you have a hard time shaving those balls.
The machete's not working.
Ladies, if you know a guy who's having a hard time shaving his balls, Ricky, if you're having a hard time shaving your balls, buy some Manscaped, man. Use the code 5RSN. They'll give you 20% off, free shipping. They got some nice cologne. It smells good. They got ball deodorant, all that good shit. So make sure you buy that crap because it's really good. It works really well, and you're gonna play better, man. You're gonna play like Jimmy tonight.
Your balls will thank you.
Yeah, my girl got me that thing. Not on God. That ball deodorizer is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. Sometimes you go outside. You go outside. We live in Florida. I live in Florida. You get sweaty. Your balls get stinky. I don't give a damn right now. I'm gonna be straight up real. Your balls might smell because you're outside sweating. You go just walk to your car in Florida heat.
Damn, bro, we beat the Raptors and now we're talking about this. Oh no.
If you say your balls don't sweat going to the car from your store or to your house in Florida weather, you are lying. So get yourself some Manscaped. Help trim it out down there. Keep it all fresh and nice. And when you go visit your lady friends or your man friends, whatever you're into, anything, go take care of your balls, like Simba was saying. You also got Prize Picks. Use code 5. Use code 5. They're gonna double your deposit up to $100. It's probably the easiest way to play fantasy. You just pick over or under on either full fantasy scores or single stats. So Jimmy tonight, I think Greg bet that he was gonna score over 20 points, so he hit on that. He predicted Bam was gonna score more than 18, so I think he hit on that. So it's a really, really easy way to play fantasy. It's one of the best, probably just really easy to play fantasy. What else we can say about that? What else we got? Go ahead, Manny. What else? Bring it on the screen. We got Best Ever. Best Ever is one of our sponsors of ways. Shout out to Best Ever. Safe Cubbies. Do we still do Safe Cubbies? I don't know. But
no, we got the new we got the graphics one now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So go ahead and shout out that one because I don't remember the name.
I don't know that one either.
Yeah,
we got Lewis Peters. We got Lewis Peters though. If you're looking for insurance, contact our guy Lewis Peters. You can talk to sports about him, and maybe if he likes the opinions you give, he'll probably give you a couple discounts on your car and stuff. So maybe you can afford that car you finally wanted.
You got Seltzer Mayberg
Law Firm. If you got any
corner tomorrow.
The longest sponsor of the 5 on the Floor.
Chase Signs, Real MyBookie.ag.
Yeah, shout out MyBookie AG. They got the best odds. They got some MMA betting. We got a fight show coming up next weekend. Actually, we just planned this today. Me and Ariel, next weekend before UFC 259, we are going to be doing a UFC pre-show. So that's going to be fun. 4 titles are there. Amanda Nunes, the double champ. You got Adesanya taking on Jan Blachowicz to become a double champ. You got Aljamain Sterling coming for that ass against Peter Yan. And, Dominic Cruz. I mean, it was his interview, not mine. Dominic Cruz is on that card. Thiago Santos is facing Alexander Rakic. Man, it's just a stacked card. You're definitely going to want to check out the pregame. We got Fight Week on 5 tomorrow. at 6 p.m. I think we also have Clutch Corner tomorrow as well. That's Thursday, right? Yeah. So Clutch Corner tomorrow as well. We're going to keep it covered with the Heat pre and post game on Friday against the Utah Jazz. We are going to get this win. I do have confidence in this team. We're going to keep it rolling. We're going to get this win. Is there any other sponsors I'm missing or any other shows that I'm missing to plug?
I don't know. Everybody keeps saying Boogie at the airport. That would be crazy. And if it's
people
true,
were saying Boogie, they've been seeing Boogie everywhere.
He could just be working out in Miami. I don't think we need to go too much into that. They're all in Miami.
Okay, you know what?
Trevor Ariza's in Miami.
I'm reading the comments, guys.
It's a dangerous game. It's a dangerous game to play.
Hey, we're just getting deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole that we're clicking in. Any other comments that we're missing? Anything else that we're missing?
Nah, man.
Awesome, guys. Hey, everybody in the comments, thank you guys so much for checking us out. It was awesome.
You guys in the comments got me. I looked up Boogie Cousins on Twitter. I had to check it out. I don't know.
You got it's a bit.
Man. We have, thanks, of course, as always, Manny, for doing an awesome job producing. We got the Skyforce crew here. I wasn't in the picture, so I felt a little bit hurt. But they are missing the red ones. So
but you're like you were on like the Lakers post game,
you're like the Duncan Robinson.
You're an OG almost, not really, but
yes, the Skyforce are people that are mainly like minions of Clutch. So it's a good thing that you're not a Skyforce.
Fair enough. I feel a bit nice, I guess. I mean,
the disrespect, Simba, it's just unreal.
I'm not a Skyforce either. I'm happy.
Yeah, I can tell clearly, obviously.
All right. Well, with Simba, Ariel, Gad, we have everybody. You got Jonathan. Thank you guys all for watching. I hope you guys have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Clutch Corner and the Fight Week on 5.